President Harris will speak tomorrow, and that will be her response to election results. That's all we have from the Harris team, which is really strange. I mean, from a PR perspective, Dan?
No, I also just think it's a shame because I remember when John Kerry did this to George W. Bush in 2004, and you work so hard, and I know that they're disappointed, but you should concede and let your opponent have their election night, and let everybody that's there at Trump. At Mar-a-Lago, where are they? They're in Palm Beach.
They're in West Palm, at the convention center.
At the convention center. Like, let them have their moment without anyone. Like, I remember Andy Card had to come in and say, well, yes, we know we won, but we have to wait until John Kerry concedes. And then we all had to traipse back in the next morning and wait, and you don't get that moment. I don't think it's right. And
that's not to say there's not going to be a phone call. There could be a phone call tonight, but she's not going to speak publicly.
If there's a phone call, they have to make it public. And then nobody needs to hear from her. So if I were her, I would do it tonight.
You should concede and let your opponent have their election night. Let them have their moment. Dana Perino remembers what John Kerry did to W. Bush back in 2004 by not conceding on election night, but can't remember what Donald Trump did to Joe Biden by not conceding on election night on January 6th when he sicked his disgruntled supporters on the Capitol, or for Biden's entire presidency.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
You just said that there was a peaceful transfer of power last time when you left office. You didn't concede. You didn't really say it was a violent attack. How is that a peaceful transfer of power?
What's your question?
My question is, you think that last time there was a peaceful transfer of power when you left office?
No, I think the people that, if you look at January 6th, which a lot of people aren't talking about very much, I think those people were treated very harshly. When you compare them to other things that took place in this country where a lot of people were killed, nobody was killed on January 6th. But I think that the people of January 6th were treated very unfairly. And they were there to complain, not through me, they were there to complain about an election. I lost by I didn't lose, but they say I lost, Joe. They say I lost.
The entire point here is to continue to rewrite history as if Hillary supporters ran up on the Capitol in 2016, Biden supporters dressed up as Trump supporters and attacked in 2020, and now Harris has somehow disrespected the president-elect by not conceding on election night. And now that we're 4 and almost 5 years into this recreation of our reality, it has to continue, or MAGA might get confused and realize that they're the politically violent ones.
I don't have to tell them that. I don't have to tell them that there'll be no violence. Of course there'll be no violence. My supporters are not violent people. I don't have to tell them that. And I certainly don't want any violence, but I certainly don't have to tell. These are great people. These are people that believe in no violence. Unlike your question, you believe in violence.
Asking if his previously violent supporters will be peaceful in the future is violent. Asking it is violent, according to Trump. But this is the most reality-bending part of this entire strategy. The same guy that said his people aren't violent happily told his people that they're violent.
Is there anybody here that's going to vote for Lion Kamala? Please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Actually, I should say don't raise your hand. It would be very dangerous. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. Please don't raise your hand.
You know, it's weird I have to break it down like this. Maybe we have to watch that part again to make sure that we heard it right.
Is there anybody here that's going to vote for Lion Kamala? Please raise your hand. Actually, I should say don't raise your hand. It would be very dangerous. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. It would be very dangerous. We don't want to see anybody get hurt.
How can anyone get hurt or be in danger in the middle of a MAGA rally if the people that are attending said MAGA rally aren't violent? Can they get hurt raising their hand too quickly? Maybe throw their shoulder out of socket. Is there danger in tripping and on a rock and falling down? Or is there maybe that the leader of these folks literally said they're dangerous and could hurt someone that was supporting the candidate that they're voting against? You know, these are the basic concepts of comprehension that we now have to break down because millions and millions of people have been told not to complete this simple equation.
Go into the enemy camp, and you know the enemy camp is certain networks. And a lot of people don't like this. Sir, do I have to do that? He just goes, okay. Which one? CNN, MSDNC?
You know, I want to be clear. This is no longer about highlighting and illustrating the blatant agenda and rhetoric that Trump's party has been delivering to the American people. You know, the election's over and they were successful. This is now about regaining this country's grip on reality. Because if he hopes to follow through on his openly communicated agenda of booting immigrants here on a legal status, shutting down the Department of Education, unleashing what he hopes will be his private army on anyone that challenges or criticizes him, he'll have to keep the folks that he fooled thinking that up is down and night is day. And currently, with the help of surrogates like Dana Perino, they're being told that this...
Now I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Is egregious, and that this was the most normal thing in presidential politics.
First of all, I won in 2020 by a lot, okay? Let's get that straight.
There are books that are written on how the election was rigged. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.